Okay. Welcome to Arlington, Texas, in a chilly Arlington, Texas, for round 7 of the Monster Energy AMA Supercross. And we can now call round 7 is the 7th race. We're back on schedule after getting Oakland in. And today for the Dunlop Motorcycle Tires Track Walk, I have none other than Colt Nichols as my co-host. Colt 45, this is your home race.
Oh yeah, home race for me. I'm pretty excited, man. We have a lot of friends and family coming out to show support for Colt 45, so hopefully Team Colt 45's got a good cheering section today. But yeah, I mean, looking at the track already, we rode a little bit yesterday for press day, and one of my favorite races of the year, so I'm excited. We'll take you guys through and show you what's going on today.
Absolutely. Right off the start, we can see and the ground matches your jacket, so
yeah,
we know right
perfect.
now we're in Texas. This is the red clay area of the Dallas metropolitan area. And speaking of Dallas, I mean, I knew that it had a long history of Supercross, but I didn't realize, you know, this is the 50th anniversary of the Supercross AMA Championship, and that being said, the very first year was 74, only had 3 races. And then in 75, we went off, and Dallas was incorporated into the 2nd year of the championship. So that in itself,
Didn't know that.
Yeah, it was.
Didn't
And it was
know that.
only 4 rounds, and it kicked off the season that year. And it was won by Jimmy Ellis, who
Legend.
Yep, legend, Hall of Fame Jimmy Ellis on a Can-Am, a brand that, do you even know what a Can-Am is?
No longer here, but yeah, we know what Can-Am
Yeah,
is.
we know Can-Ams from
Yeah,
side-by-sides, right?
Yeah,
but he
literally.
won all 4 rounds that year. They had a
Wow.
round in Houston, but they also had a round in Daytona, was round 2, Houston, and then they went on to LA Coliseum, which we're going to be visiting, and you'll be visiting at the end of the year. So pretty exciting to look back at the history of the Dallas area. And we can see right here, just off the start, that they've been adding a lot of water to the track. And it's a little bit slippery underneath. I switched over to my old Combat Sorel boots because it's only 40-some degrees outside. What's up with this weather?
Dude, I don't know. This is Texas, Oklahoma. I'm used to this. I guess a few days ago it was about 80 degrees. Now it's 30-something degrees. So I don't know, dude. It just makes up its mind every morning on what it's going to do. It's a little silly, but yeah. I mean, we're big jacketed up. We're kind of ready for it. Inside though, it's nice. We got the roof closed. Pretty excited about that. But man, it's going to be good, dude. This dirt is kind of some of the best of the year. So we got a really long start straight. I'm excited about that as well. That seems to suit me a little bit better. So, man, I'm pumped, dude. The track looks about top tier as it's going to get. So it always looks perfect in the morning.
Let's talk about this start right here.
Yeah,
Coming
yeah.
a very wide, open, I mean, you know, 22 bikes can fit through her almost side by side. It is very wide.
Yeah.
Flat corner. Do you like a flat or do you want a little berm on the outside?
I don't mind this. This one too, with it being so long, you can kind of get a good start from wherever. That's why I like the long start. You can be outside, but if you get a jump, you can kind of come in and try to squeeze some people. The flat turns kind of whatever. I don't mind that off the gate. Right into a nice little rhythm section we got here, but man, I really like this long start. This, I think, suits me pretty good, so I'm excited about that.
Nice. And so you are known for your good starts. I mean, let's talk about you a little bit here. Let's bring the people in on. So winning the 250 Supercross Championship in 2022, and
21,
then 21, sorry,
Yep.
21, and then missing all of 2022 is what I said. And so, you know, the injury at Anaheim, right? Broken leg, was it? What was it?
2 broken arms.
Two broken. Okay, arms and the whoops.
Yep.
I remember the crash. That's it. So spending almost an entire year away from pure hardcore competition, what did that do for you? And then coming back at that point, you really didn't have a ride, and then you ended up with the Team HRC or the Honda bike. So tell us how that all happened and what brought it up to that point.
Yeah, it was just it was rough. Like you said, missing all of 2022, that was not ideal. And then we're just trying to figure it out. You know, I didn't have a ride. Star, there wasn't any 450 spots available. I had to move up, so we were kind of stuck. And yeah, it's just kind of weird the way life works. You know, we were kind of struggling, trying to figure something out. Then this Honda thing, Kenny and Honda ended up splitting, and that left a void there. And luckily, I was the guy they called to fill that spot. So yeah, one thing led to another. Ended up happening. We didn't get on the bike till a little late. I didn't start riding till October, like 11th or 12th, and outdoors for a few weeks. And we started riding Supercross. So yeah, it's just trying to get our feet back underneath us. You know, the racing it's just different, man. You can practice all you want, but until you go race, you don't really figure out how the bike is and how you are, and you can make adjustments as you go. So that's kind of the spot where we're at right now. You know, trying to get back under the racing and kind of figure out as we go.
Well, it is a Supercross only agreement with
Yep.
So you
Yep,
got your
just through this year, and then We don't know what the summer plans are yet. We got a lot of stuff to figure out, but one day at a time. So we're just going one race at a time, and then once Supercross is over, I want to go race. You know, I don't know where or how, but we're gonna figure that out. So
you're handing out your business cards. You
pretty much, yeah.
You're going around seeing all the team managers. Well,
pretty much.
Unfortunately, in our sport, injuries are part of it, and we know that. And then, you know, there has been a couple of top-tiered riders on the factory teams who have gone out with what is being described as season-ending injuries. So there are some seats open, no question. You started off Anaheim, the very first race, great starts, and with a sixth place finish, wasn't it, around one in Anaheim? So fantastic result. Was that your first 450 race, right?
Yeah, very, very first 450 race. Solid finish. It was kind of weird. I wasn't the sixth fastest guy. We kind of lucked into it a little bit, but sometimes that happens. So we're trying to get back there, man. Last weekend we got P9. Breaking back into single digits is what I wanted. So one weekend at a time. But we're back home now, and I actually feel really good about my chances here. And I like the way this track is built. I love this dirt. And Triple Crown. It's always exciting.
I know. We talk about a Triple Crown. That is a busy, busy night. And,
Very busy.
Talking about the track and talking to the Dirtworks guys, the program is so tight. We have Supercross Futures and we have Triple Crown in both classes. So with that being said, they have less time to actually maintain the track. And this particular dirt, if we can see over here over to the side, I see. I think there's one of your teammates there, Chase, but it's real sandy and it breaks up a lot. And I think they're going to have a hard time. They had to put some water on it. They're trying to compact it. But this is great soil, good to ride on. But it's going to be tough for the crew the Dirtworks crew to keep the track maintained. And with the Triple Crown format, they actually have about 10 or 15 less minutes throughout the program to do track maintenance. So. It's a challenge. We're going to see what happens throughout the night. So
it's going to break down a lot more. That last main event is going to be brutal, to say the least. So,
so coming yesterday, you got to ride this section in press day. What's your thoughts? What were you doing here? Obviously, you come out of the first corner, but behind it, there's a little knoll, a jump, and I didn't see anyone clearing this whole level. Did you jump this whole thing? I didn't see anyone doing that.
I tried to go from that roller over this first one right here and case it a few times. So I think that one's out now. We tried it, couldn't get over it. So there is some option here, though. You come out of the turn, you can roll. You can either hop over this first one that we're standing on, or you can wheelie over this one and use this as a face. So there was some options. So
so when you talked about basically wheeling the first one, hitting this one, launching off a what we call 3-footer, you got a 3.53. It looks like a 3.62 to me, but there's a big one right here. So were you able to get cleanly over this this next taller jump?
Yeah. So we, like I said, had a few options, which made it nice. We could go from this tall one right here, 3 onto the tabletop, off, then 3 out, or you could wheelie over this first small one, 3 over this one, go from the table, 4, and then 2 into the turn. So. Some pretty good options, man. This is a big rhythm. You can get big if you want. You can keep it simple. I actually like this. It makes some good separation. So
and
this one will be good.
And if the track deteriorates throughout the race, you can obviously go off rhythm to avoid the ruts or
avoid the ruts, avoid the kickers. That was huge last weekend at Oakland. Trying to find some different spots that you can go and avoid some of the really big ruts we had. So. Probably be similar here. We'll have a lot of ruts on the face of this triple out, so if you can get over this and get away from those, that'll be clutch. But no, it'll be nice, man. We got good options in this rhythm at least. The other one I think will be pretty standard, but this one you can get a little different.
Well, that's good. So when was the first Dallas area Supercross that you ever attended? Because this maybe it was the first Supercross you ever as a kid came and watched?
Yeah, first one I came and watched, first one I raced as a pro. A lot of history for me in Dallas. Yeah, just kind of how I found my love for Supercross was coming to this race. I was little. My dad took me here. I don't remember exactly how old I was, but it was the year before I did the Supercross Challenge that they're still doing to this day. I did that and got to race at St. Louis, and that was pretty cool, man. That was sweet. So
yeah, it's awesome. Yep, we got some fans at early entry
early morning
in here.
Fans
That's
already.
Nice. Already checking it out. So off this section right here. Great passing zone. Big bull corner right here. Perfectly groomed for now.
Oh, it looks awesome right now.
Plenty of ruts have developed as we rode the press day, or you rode the press day watching. You could see the ruts developing many different lines through here. So.
Yeah, this one is interesting. The cut down line was already, we rode press 10 minutes and we were already almost up against the bales. We were going so far inside. So it'll be a lot of cut down, trying to avoid these big ruts. They get pretty rough in here too. So It's going to be interesting because this is going to be a good spot to pass, but also if you're cutting really low, you're going to have to go all the way around to get by somebody. So it'll be interesting racing. This turn will be kind of a crucial spot all night for sure.
Well, when I think of cut down and I think of tight lines, I think of Cooper Webb.
Oh yeah, he's the man. He always seems to do good here too. So it's he'll be a guy that you'll want to watch. I'm going to try to get in with him and see if I can make my way around with him. That'd be good. I think a good guy to follow. So.
Yeah, I think doing good. When we had the residency here, the 3 rounds a couple of years ago during COVID, he won all 3.
Yeah, he was.
And so if you're a fantasy Supercross player here, you got Eli Tomac and you got Cooper Webb. I think have won the last 7 races that have been held in this stadium. So, and I know Chase Sexton would like to break that up, but boy, those 2 guys would be hard to bet against. Either if you're a Webb fan, you're going to go Webb Tomac, and if you're a Tomac fan, maybe you'll pick Tomac Webb. So.
Yeah,
well, we make a little run up this thing. I don't mind going up it. You want to go around it? You got it? All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay. Want to make sure we can get up on camera. It's not too really, actually, considering they've got a lot of water on it and there's a lot of moisture in it, so the dust is not going to be a problem.
Absolutely
I don't think it's going to get hard packed, but they didn't have to soak it, which is nice. So we're not messing with that West Coast clay, huh? Yeah, so just your typical, your standard finish line jump. Again, I say it every broken record, but it always looks so far to me, and you guys just do it. I don't know, second gear, just blindfolded.
This one's awesome. Yeah. Good, nice little finish. Interesting little roller section after here.
This was kind of cool watching this yesterday. There really wasn't, I saw Eli trying to, like, he was hopping and just clipping the 3rd one, and other guys were just not even worrying about it, almost using one of these 2 as these little bumps as braking zones or a way to slow the bike down. They were kind of almost plowing into it on purpose because they had so much speed going into this corner. So what did you feel was the best option here?
Yeah, this is one of those ones that whenever it starts to break down, you'll move. But at first, as soon as you can land off this finish, the more speed you can carry, go all the way over these, don't even touch them, triple into this turn, use this big bank right here to rail this thing. Eventually this rut gets blown out and it gets really rough, gets choppy. It's not as fast, so then you're gonna have to switch up the line, maybe double, single, double, come to this inside right here, miss this big rut, then carve it all the way to the edge. Is probably gonna be the line, I would assume, the race line. Everyone likes to make the track shorter the deeper we go, so that'll be interesting, but kind of cool going underneath the tunnel. A lot of momentum, a lot of speed coming into this thing. So
very 70s, the over-under tunnels. I remember these from my days. But this was kind of interesting. They put a big berm right up in here. Quite a distance. I mean, you can see there's a good 2-3 feet before the wall. So to keep people from getting into the wall. But yesterday during press day, a lot of people coming to the inside behind us. They were going real quick inside because they didn't allow you guys to continue on. They made you circle around here, which is not part of the track. But the riders were doing a real quick, inside, because that was the line that was the best for press day. But we're not racing on press day. So.
No, absolutely not. Always change up a little bit for the race, but
you got it.
Across here, nice, easy little section here. Come across, little double. This is a whole section we didn't get to ride yesterday, so this will be important for us to walk. We already did this section back here. Simple little double, Supercross triple, then into the rhythm we watched, or that we just walked. So fairly simple on this side. Once we come over here, this is where you have some options, some different things that you can do. So this will be a good spot. Yeah, sure. Oklahoma boys.
There's
that's awesome.
One of the KTM juniors there.
That's awesome. Here we go, buddy.
2 Oklahoma boys.
There we go. Good luck tonight, buddy.
There we go.
Of course. Yeah, good luck, guys.
All right. So speaking of Oklahoma, I mean, I followed your whole career because one of our Dunlop fitters, Marshall Plum, he was a factory mechanic in the day, and he worked for Guy Cooper when he won his 1990 championship. So one of our Oklahoma guys won the championship. And then they went through, you had Robbie Raynard in there. Then you also had, from there you had, Justin Bogle. So you've had some Oklahoma guys that have been pretty darn fast riders coming through to look up to. So were those guys people's careers you followed and rode with over the time? Did you ever train with Robbie?
Oh yeah, I trained with Robbie for about 10, 11 years. Trained with him for a really long time, but we had such a good group of people, and it's kind of full circle a little bit. My first year as pro, I rode for Crossland Honda. Guy Cooper was the team manager. Marshall Plum did our suspension and our tires. Always been a Dunlop guy my whole career, but It was just funny, man. It's all full circle now. Now I get to work with Trey at Factory Honda, and he was obviously an idol of mine. Justin Bogle, we're still best friends to this day. So kind of funny. The Oklahoma crew stuck together for sure. So that's why this place is always so cool to me. We have so many fans that show up, and this is my first Supercross. Trey always did good here. We always had so much family coming down from Oklahoma. So this is always just a fun race. The red dirt reminds me of Robbie's. You go back to his place in Wellston, it looks just like this. So very familiar for me. I like this. It makes me feel like home.
Yeah, man. Speaking of Trey, I mean, you get to work with him still, and he actually won here in this stadium, I believe. I think it was the second time they ever raced. I think Dungy won the first time on a Suzuki, and I think Trey was the next year's winner here. So it's been a pretty, such a beautiful stadium. I mean, it was a $1 billion+ stadium. It's one of the most beautiful stadiums, for no question, that we visit, and we love it here. So it's Texas has a lot of history in Supercross from Houston and the Dallas area. So right here, Dragonback, pretty simple. When you're coming up to these Dragonbacks, do you just kind of spot the last one, just knowing that that's really what you're focusing on to jump off of?
Yeah, especially with this one, because there's, these are Texas size for sure. Everything's bigger in Texas, and these things are definitely big. So you want to spot this last one for sure. Sometimes, depending on the Dragon's back, if the table's closer, or sometimes a single, you can leave from this one right here, the one before the top. This one, not happening. You're probably going to go to the top to get onto this table off, and a triple out after that. So same thing right here. Everything's bigger in Texas. We got a big set of whoops. These will be interesting today. Probably catch a lot of guys out, but this section right here looks good though. Nice big Dragons back onto a table off. We got to watch the Futures yesterday go through this section, and they were handling no problem. So should be good for us. It'll be good.
Speaking of Dragonbacks, last week in Oakland, watched Cooper Webb do something a little off rhythm from everybody. Everybody was pretty much coming up, clipping and hitting the last one and then jumping off. It was a single afterwards. But Coop was jumping in, kind of a jump method like he does in the whoop sometimes, but he was jumping to the second to last one, hitting the second to last one, and then launching over. Did you get to watch that on video? It's kind of an interesting, I mean, it seemed fast, but it wasn't dramatically faster, but he was certainly going off rhythm there. So, yeah, and this one, I don't know, maybe you could hit the second to last one and still land on the table, but
I don't know. This one's definitely a bigger gap than we had last weekend to go over, but I noticed that line early, and then I was actually able to do the same thing. I was able to miss that top one last weekend, and there was a big old kicker on it, so I was trying to avoid that at all costs. So I ended up going to the next to last one and getting over it. So that was a much better line, and hopefully we can do the same this weekend. But we will see.
Well, it's worth the top 10 for you, huh?
Yes, it sure was.
So, and you're still sitting in the top 10 in the championship, so that's got to be a big goal for you. First time in 450s.
That was a goal from the get-go. Was stay top 10 all the way throughout the season. We started off with the 6, so we were in a good spot. Then we had a few troublesome races, but back inside the top 10 last week. I was happy about that, and keep that train rolling. I'm excited.
So you're thinking off the table, clear, and then triple into the corner?
Maybe you'll be able to go all the way over this table from that top loop. I'm not real sure. That's going to be a pretty big gap, but at least off the top loop onto the table off, triple into the turn was the line yesterday. A lot of the Futures kids were doing so.
And the Futures kids, we're talking about, they were a group of them. There were 3 of them that were riding in the 50 flat range. So they were almost identical times down to the 10th of a second. So a 50-0, I mean, I don't want to make too big of predictions here, but this track is only 1,730 feet long. So 6,100 yards of dirt. That's on the low side, somewhere between 6 to 7. Oakland was 7,000 yards, which is the most we've had. But that being said, this could be a 45-second track.
No, it's going to break down and it's going to get fast. I thought the same thing looking at the Futures yesterday. We're getting into the 50s and low 50s. So usually you got to think for us, we might be going a little faster than some of those guys, but the track's going to break down too. It might get a little slower once it breaks down. So we'll see. But into this section, you can tell they went Texas size on us for sure. But
these are some pretty good whoops. But again, they're soft and they're going to tear up. I spent probably an hour down here on the track yesterday talking to the Dirtworks crew. These guys, it's almost an impossible job what they have to do to build these whoops. And when the Futures were riding on them a little bit yesterday, tearing them up a little bit, so they worked and groomed them one more time. You can't completely rebuild the dozer whoops because you're starting at the end and you're building them back. So you can't completely rebuild them. And so they use more of a Bobcat kind of equipment to fix them. And you can see even with that, it's hard for them to get down in there because the machine bottoms out and the tail end drags and the scoop drags. So It's boy, it's a hard job to make these things as competitive, and you guys coming through there in the big 450s with all that torque and just tearing them up. So
they actually look better than they did yesterday. Actually, you can tell that they rebuilt them. The in between the whoops are already kind of filled in a little more than they were yesterday when we first looked at them. So they look a little better. I think they get better the more that they work them. You know, they'll work them again before the night show. They usually same thing. They get filled in a little bit more in between. They get it maybe just a little flatter from dragging the bucket over the top. So they change quite a bit throughout the day. But these ones actually look like they're built really good. They're laid down to a good degree. They seem like they're a little closer together than some of the whoops we've seen. So that actually helps. When they're this big and they're a little bit closer together, it kind of helps some of the guys out. They're just a little more comfortable to hit, so we like that.
And this last two look a little bit mellower, a little bit more ramped up.
Yeah.
Good for the. I mean, the future riders. Obviously, the riders, they do qualify down to the. You know, you have to finish within 110%, I think, of the fastest time. So I think 4 or 5 riders went home yesterday, weren't able to do that time. So, but still, you don't want to. You know, you got to have a track that the futures can ride. And also the top 450 guys like yourself. So coming through these whoops, tell us what, in this section here, will you be in third gear, you think, going those sections in there? Yeah,
probably exiting the turn, going up the Dragons in second, trying to shift into third. Go through this section in third.
And then you hit the bowl, and then what do you do? What do you do in the bowl with your shift, what gear your selection, and what do you do when you enter?
This one's tough because we have so much traction. You might not have to hit fourth. You usually don't hit fourth on a 450. You usually try and stay in third gear. So bikes are just so ridiculously fast. So come out of that bowl, have some good speed. Like I said, they're a little bit closer together, but they're going to get so chewed up. You're going to have to be on your toes big time. So coming into the whoop, probably in third gear, carrying a lot of speed to make it all the way to the end. They are close together, but they're built good. So hopefully try and carry third. Hopefully we don't need fourth. If so, that's going to be a little hairy. But carry third all the way through. Come through the turn, cut across. It's kind of a short little area to cut across after the whoops, but cut right across. Either try and hang it really, really tight around this little hay bale, or go all the berm, do a nice little wall, then the box jump. So this is going to be tight. We didn't ride this yesterday, so I'll be anxious to see how this kind of races. But it'll be a little different for sure.
This wall jump right here, they added this. This was something that was not originally in the plans, my understanding. They, knowing that the track was a little shorter, it's really almost if you look at the blueprint from this year's track, it's almost just an inverted version of last year's track. But this is like we mentioned, 1,730 feet long. We've had them as long as 2175. So anything under 2,000 is a little shorter. So they have to slow it down a little bit. So we'll just go around the wall jump here.
Not really trying to climb that one. It's a little steep.
Exactly. Wall jump into
little roller here.
A little roller.
I'll be anxious to see if someone doubles this. I personally don't know if I will, but someone might try and double this thing. I don't know.
Right after the wall jump?
Never know. It might go from the wall all the way to this thing, but most of the time not. The wall jump is super, super steep. You catch a lot of air, so a lot of guys try to avoid doing that. But probably the inside will probably get worked in. Number 2 on the KTM will more than likely be trying to cut that thing pretty tight. He makes the track pretty short, so more than likely be using the inside, maybe not going all the way to the berm, getting over the wall, trying to stay low, and then hit into the box jump. So it'll be a tight track, but this area looks kind of fun. I'm excited about this. Slow it down a little bit too.
Yep, and up over and under we go. And the best view in the house right here, other than lighting the candles coming across the finish line first, right? That'd be the ultimate view. But right up here on top, and old school over under. And it's funny now they have to put a little pre-jumper in it because you guys would probably land in the first or second row up there. But now this is going to be an interesting little shot. Coming off of this and immediately heading off to the right here. Now we're landing on the first corner there, so it's a nice flat corner, not much to it. And as we head down the ramp here, let's see here, we got one more little quick shot, and then towards the end of the track. But this is just a simple, the most basic double coming off of a flat corner like this, but that presents a lot of passing opportunities, right?
Yeah, this one's going to get chewed up too. So the fake on this will get pretty chewed up. You'll be moving around quite a bit. like I said, off the box, flat turn coming into here, and then another flat turn right here. And this one we were cutting down extremely low yesterday.
Yes.
This rut was getting really, really rough. So after this double, this will be interesting. The triple's not too big. Probably a standard size triple. We're looking at 60, 65 feet. So we were able to turn right around these Yamaha bales. We were able to go really, really tight yesterday. Able to get this from the inside and then into the left-hander and into the rhythm before the finish. So kind of a small track. Like I said, the lap times will be low, but we'll be doing a lot of laps. The track's gonna get really beat up, especially for a Triple Crown. It's only 12 minutes, but it's gonna get pretty beat up in that time. So it'll be interesting, man. This will be a survival of the fittest by the time it's said and done. So
yeah, you got 3 main events like that too. And so, it's just we talk about the dirt, Texas dirt, all this. We got the I think 45th time a Supercross has been held in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But more importantly, have you ever watched Winners Take All?
Classic movie.
Okay.
Classic movie.
You know that was filmed in the old Irving Stadium in 1986, man. So that's part of Dallas Supercross history there. Winners Take All there, right?
Yeah, that is a absolute classic movie. If you're a real dirt bike, real moto head, you've probably seen Winners Take All. That's just a good movie.
And there was
Very
some
classic.
actor that played Carl in that thing. I heard that was really, really good. Yeah.
So I've been told.
So you've been told.
Yeah.
So Colt, this is right here, the last little obstacle.
Yep.
What in the world? I mean, this little knoll right here.
Yep.
This is almost a braking bump to clear that. So
Yeah.
when you played around with this yesterday, riding this, what did you feel like was? You said you went outside, tried to jump that whole start, didn't really work.
Yep. Nope. We came up a little short on that one. Did a nice little case and bounce from this turn, trying to get all the way over that first roller. So this was really slick yesterday, but you could still land the triple, shift down, use the engine braking a little bit, able to pop over this little knuckle over this face, and then into the rhythm. Or you can go outside, kind of try to scrub off this roller, then charge into the rhythm. So got some options. Like I said, this will be interesting because you can jump and kind of cut somebody off jumping to the outside. So this will be an interesting section right here. If they end up leaving it, or depending on what they do, you could definitely use this to kind of cut some people off and make up some time. So this will be a good little passing spot, I think, again, either going to the wall or cutting inside, and then this big bold turn before the finish will be another good one. So there is some options. I'm excited, man. This track looks sweet.
Well, we're coming to the end of a lap and the end of our track walk, but I have to ask you one more question.
Yep.
When you're riding in this stadium, are you ever tempted for 1 second to look up at one of those big old gigantic screens up there, those jumbotrons, and hey, say if you're leading the race?
Oh yeah.
You ever want to look up and see it? Just like the guys run into the end zone, they check it out, look up.
Literally. It's hard not to, man. That thing is huge, but it makes it pretty cool, dude. This is, like I said, one of the best stadiums we visit all year because of that thing. Pretty incredible, man. Good to look at, man. The seat, the way that the roof goes back, those screens are just, I mean, they're pretty top tier. So makes for a good stadium, especially when the dirt is so good. The fans are so lively here in Texas too. So man, that's a good reason why. Jerry did a good job with the stadium. So it's an awesome place to race. Hopefully we can put it up on the box or somewhere near it tonight, and I'll be pumped.
Yeah, he did. It's actually, as a fan sitting in the stands, if you've never been to AT&T Stadium or this stadium, this is the place to come watch the Supercross. Because even as a fan watching the races, you're tempted just to watch it on the monitor up there back and forth. So again, Colt Nichols, the number 45 on the Team Honda HRC bike. Hometown, a lot of family and friends here, so the best of luck with you. I hope you have a great rest. Thank you for helping us host the Dunlop Motorcycle Tires Track Walk. And next week we'll be in Daytona, one of the original OG Supercross races, all the way back from the 50 years we've been doing this championship. So thank you very much. Appreciate your time and good luck tonight.
Yep, thanks for having me, guys.